and welcome back to the Rainbow Hair Files. Today I am going to be showing you two different hairstyles. Although technically they're the same, it's just two different versions of the same hairstyle. So let's go ahead and jump right on in. So before I started recording this video, I washed her hair and detangled it. Now I'm going to go ahead and start the hairstyle by splitting the hair straight down the middle. You can do this however you want, but I prefer to start at the front and split it down the middle, and then go from the nape of the neck at the back and join the splitting at the back to the splitting at the top. It just helps me get it a clean part down the middle. Once you are happy with your parting, go ahead and tie one half of the hair off so that we can focus on one half of the head at a time. So now what you're going to do is split that half of the hair in half again. I am coming from the top of her ear and I'm just going to bring it to the middle of the back of her head, if that makes sense. Now I'm going to go ahead and use a small elastic and tie both of those quarters, I guess, off. I went ahead and tied the top part off so that it is out of the way, so that we're only focusing on one section at a time. So all you're gonna do is braid this section in one braid. The thing that makes this version of the hairstyle different from the other version that I'm gonna show you is that for this version I am feeding in hair. Now if this is something you don't know how to do, then maybe try doing the second version instead, or you can just use the natural hair to braid one braid. But all I'm doing is braiding, adding hair, braiding, adding hair, until it is the length that I want it to be. So this is what it looks like once you have added all the hair and braided both of the sections. Now to add just a little bit of an extra something to the look, I suppose, I'm using these hair ties that have the little balls on them. I don't know if they have a specific name. I'll try and find some and link them down below, but I'm pretty sure you can get them anywhere. I believe we got these from Walmart, so they're easy to find. All you're gonna do is tie an opposite color on both the sections, which will make sense when you see the finished product. Now apparently I did not get a picture of the finished product of this look, I suppose, but just imagine what it looks like with the hair ties in it, because it doesn't change it all that much. I just felt like it added a little extra something. So now moving on to the second version of the look. So to start off doing the second version of this look, you're going to go ahead and split off the other side of the head if you have not done that already, just like I showed you how to do in the first half of the video. and go ahead and tie all 4 sections off with a small elastic. So the only thing that makes this version different from the first version is we're actually going to be doing 2 braids instead of just 1. So each one of the 4 sections is going to have 2 braids in it. I just used her natural hair for this because I thought that it looked a little bit better than adding hair, but you can do whatever you want. If you are unsure on how to braid, or maybe it's just been a while since you've tried to braid anybody's hair and you need a refresher lesson on how to do it, I do have a video up on this channel that talks all about how to do that. I will link it down below. Now once again, I added these hair ties at the end of the look just to add a little bit something extra. This is totally optional, I just felt like it made the hairstyle just that little bit cuter. And this is what it should look like when you are all done. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope— Hello, welcome back to the Rainbow Hair Files. Today I will be showing you how to do this braided hairstyle. It's a little bit more complex than the other tutorials on this channel, so if you want something a little bit easier, definitely go check out our other videos. But if you want to see how we did this, then keep watching. To start off, I am detangling Alethia's hair. I'm going to spray it with water and then use our favorite Curly Kids Curly Cream leave-in conditioner, then detangle with our comb. Okay, so to make our first section, I'm going to part at just about ear level right at the back of her head. This is what the section should look like. Now I'm going to part that into 4 smaller sections that will become our first braids. I'm going to use some of our Just For Me Natural Hair Milk Smoothing Edges Cream and a toothbrush to to make sure I get all the little hairs slicked down, and it just helps keep the style looking clean. Go ahead and braid each section and tie it off however you want. I used some beads in this style, but that's totally optional. Now before we move on to doing more of the box braids, we need to section off the top of our head. This will be where the cornrows are going. So for the first section on the right, you're going to create kind of like a side part in the hair, then curve the part to the right and bring it down to right by the ear. Tie that section off, and then for the section on the left, you're going to curve the part down to the ear on the left side. It should look like this. So going back to the box braids, the next section you're going to make is just going straight across the back of the head. Try your best to keep each section at the back the same size as the one below it. Go ahead and part your first box, then use the gel and the toothbrush to smooth it out, and then braid. So once you're done with the box braids, we're going to move on to braiding the cornrows. I did not get a great video of parting, but basically you're going to create like a soft S shape when you part each section. It's going to curve one way and then curve in the other direction. Use some of the gel again, as this will help with the braiding. Then go ahead and braid to the head all the way down. Keep making your S-type sections until the right section is all braided. Now for the left side, you're going to create parts that go straight back with maybe a slight curve to the left right at the end. Go ahead and braid each section back. The style should look something like this when you're done. Hi guys! Today I'm going to be showing you 3 different French braid hairstyles that are just a little bit different than regular braids. I'm starting off by detangling my daughter's hair, then I'm going to part her hair down the middle and tie off one side. This is the first style I'm going to be showing you. You're going to make small sections and tie them off with an elastic hair tie. And I love this hairstyle because you can make as many or as few sections as you want. So I'm tying off the first section and then I'm going to go ahead and part section number 2. Now before I tie off the second section that I just made, I'm going to join the hair from section number 1 into section number 2 and use an elastic to tie them both together. Now I'm moving on to making the next section, combining it with the last 2 and tying it off. What you have to do is keep making sections and tying them off until you have no hair left. And it should look something like this. Alright, so this is style number 2. You're going to start off by parting off a square, basically right above the ear. It's actually really easy for me to know where to part my daughter's hair because it kind of naturally recedes right there. But I'm going to take the part down to a little bit behind her ear. Once you have your square, go ahead and tie or clip the rest of the hair out the way. Then you're going to split the square part in half. Tie off the bottom half and then start to braid the top half back. Then once you're done with that braid, go ahead and braid the bottom half. Now you have two options when it comes to these small braids. You can continue them a little ways down, or you can tie them off. You just have to keep in mind that they cannot come undone before you add them to the French braid. So once you are done with those two smaller side braids, you're gonna move on to the French braid. So you're gonna take the big section of hair and start to braid it back. Once you get to the smaller braids, pick up one of the braids, the top one first, and a little bit of the loose hair and add it to the French braid. Then braid as normal until you get to the bottom braid and add that with some of the loose hair. And it should look like this when you're done. So for our last style, we're gonna do a little crisscross action. You're gonna start off by splitting each half of the head in half again. So I am parting right above my daughter's ear to the middle part we already made. Then I'm gonna go ahead and tie off the bottom section. Then I'm going to repeat that on the opposite side of her head, but instead I'm going to tie off the top section. So you should have the top left section tied off and the bottom right section tied off. So you're going to go ahead and start braiding. You're going to braid the top right section first and braid it all the way down to the bottom. Once you get to the bottom of that section, start adding hair from the bottom left section so that it starts going across the back of the head. Braid it all the way down and tie it off. Then do the same thing with the other two sections. Braid the top left all the way down to that section and then start adding hair from the bottom right section, and it should cross over the other braid that you already made. Now, I added a little something extra with some feed-in hair for my daughter's style, but that's definitely optional. Once you're done, it should look like this. So what I'm gonna do to start is just section her hair above her ear. Before I started recording this video, I put in some leave-in conditioner and I detangled her hair. I didn't include any footage of like what products I was using because I'm planning on doing a separate video of all the products that I use most frequently in her hair. So watch out for that one because it will be coming next after this video. Now what I'm going to do is tie off the top of her hair so it does not get in the way, and for that bottom section I'm just going to split it in half so that one section turns into two. So now what I'm going to do is use some gel just to smooth down the edges of the sections, and I'm going to tie them off at the base. The next section I take is going to be right above her ear, and it's going to go on the side of her head. So she has a natural part where I'm parting right now, and so I just kind of follow that line, but you can do it wherever you want. Really, this hairstyle is so versatile that you can do whatever parts you want to do. So I'm just parting right where her natural part is anyway, and then I'm going to go down, and it's going to be like a little bit behind her ear when I section it off. So once again, I'm just using the gel to smooth out the edges and stuff down, and then tying it off at the base. So like I said, this hairstyle is super versatile. You can do whatever parting you want and whatever sections you want to do, however many. I ended up with 5 different parts. So now all I'm going to do is take the top sections and tie those off. So what I'm going to do is take one section at a time, and I'm going to split each section in half, and I'm going to braid each half of the section. So basically each big parting that I made is going to turn into 2 different braids. So all I'm doing here is splitting the hair into 3 separate parts and braiding. Now this hairstyle is super cute with whatever you want to do with it, which is why I love it so much. You can just tie it off at the ends, you can add beads like I did, or you can add like little bows, or whatever you want to do. Like I said, I put beads because it's basically the only accessory that we have for her hair right now, but I absolutely love how versatile this hairstyle is, and it works for basically any like level of thickness of hair or any type of hair that the child might have. So once I have braided all of the sections, all I'm going to do is go ahead and lay down her baby edges with more of the gel that I use. And I'm going to use an old toothbrush to comb them into place, basically. And then at the back of her hair, obviously, I'm just trying to make it look a little bit neater. So I'm combing all the little baby hairs up so that they look like they're in the ponytail. And this is the finished look. It's super cute, super easy. I love it. And like I said, it's super versatile for basically any type of hair and any length of hair. I've been doing this on her for years now. So yeah, I hope. Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be showing you how we did this hairstyle. Don't mind my daughter right here. She was saying hi to you guys. So the first thing I'm gonna do is section off my daughter's hair and moisturize and detangle with the As I Am Long and Luxe Grow Yogurt Leave-In Conditioner. Once her hair is detangled and moisturized, I'm gonna start by splitting her hair in half. So all I'm doing is going straight down the middle, and I'm going to tie off 1/2 of her head. The next thing I do is split the half that is not tied up in half again, so then her hair is in quarters. Also, I apologize for the filming of this part. My daughter moved forwards. I didn't realize at the time that you couldn't see anymore, but you'll see what I mean in a minute. All I'm doing is parting her hair right above her ear to roughly a midway point at the back of her head. And then I'm going to use a small elastic hair tie to section off the bottom section. So once I've tied off both of those sections that you can see, I'm going to start twisting. I'm going to end up doing 3 twists in each section. I'm going to split the hair in this section into 3 somewhat even parts, and then take one of those parts at a time and start to twist. So when doing twists, it is completely different for how your hair is. My daughter's hair, what I found works best is if I start braiding right at the top and then twist all the way down and then braid a little bit at the bottom. It's the only thing I've found that works to keep her hair actually in the twist so that it doesn't unravel after a while. I know some people can just twist all the way down and it'll stay in a twist. Some people have to do a little braid right at the bottom. It's whatever works for you and the hair that you're working on. If you ever want a more in-depth video on doing certain things, so if you want an in-depth tutorial on how to do 2-strand twists like this, or how to braid, or how to get clean parts, whatever, definitely let me know and I will make sure to put that on my list of videos to make. So now that I've done the 2 sections that you saw, I'm moving on to the other side of her head. This hairstyle is super cute and super versatile because you can do more sections than I did as far as bigger sections. You can do more twists in each section. You don't have to do twists at all. You can do braids. You can put beads at the end, or you can just tie it off like I did. Or if your hair will stay in a twist without being tied off at all, you can just leave it as it is. As you can see, all I'm doing is using some colorful rubber bands on the end to tie them off, and I think it looks super cute. The next thing I'm doing is taking these hair ties. I don't actually know what they're called, but they're hair ties that have these like balls on them. We have them in a few different colors, so I'm just taking 2 different colors of them. I think I ended up using blue and yellow, and I'm putting the same color on opposite sections, which will make sense once you see the pictures of the end result. The next thing I'm going to do is take some of this Edges Cream by Just For Me, and I'm going to use it to smooth out the sections to make it look a little cleaner, and also to do her edges at the front of her head. So for some reason I did not get a video of the end result for this, but these pictures show how it turned out. I absolutely love this hairstyle. I think it's super cute. Hello and welcome back to the Rainbow Hair Files. Today we're going to be showing you how we did this hairstyle. It is super easy to do but super cute. I am obsessed. So the first thing we did was detangle Alethea's hair. You should know by now that's the first thing I'm going to show you. Today we used our Shea Moisture Curl Enhancing Smoothie. I'm just going to go ahead and rake that through her hair. And then I'm using our fancy wooden comb to detangle, which, by the way, I highly recommend you trying one of these. It is supposed to reduce frizz rather than using plastic. It's just supposed to be better for curls when you use a wooden comb, and so far I have liked the results. I've definitely noticed some improvement in her hair since using it, so I highly recommend. We got ours off of Amazon. And then I'm just going to go ahead and repeat those steps until all of her hair is detangled. So once all of the hair is nice and detangled and easy to work with, we're going to start with sectioning off the hair for the hairstyle. So I'm creating the first section right in front of her ear, and I'm just essentially going straight over her head and creating a straight line from one side to the other. So I like to create the first part initially using the wooden comb like you see here, and then I'm going to lightly tie the rest of the hair up and then go over that part with our black finer toothed comb that you see me doing right here. And this just helps me to get a cleaner part. You can go over this as many times as you need to. I think I probably went over it like 6 times just to make sure I had that line nice and neat. But once you're happy with that part, go ahead and section the rest of the hair out of the way securely this time. So now I'm going to use our Just For Me Natural Hair Milk Smoothing Edges Cream, and I am using a toothbrush with that, and I'm just putting it all over the front of her hair to smooth out that section, just so I catch all the tiny little baby hairs and everything and make sure it's actually in the section. And then using a small elastic hair tie, I am tying that section up. So for the next part that I'm making, I'm kind of starting mid-ear and doing the same thing, just going straight across the back of her head and connecting it to the other side about mid-ear way. The one thing I love about this hairstyle is that you can do more sections than I did, less sections than I did. Alethea's hair is definitely getting a lot longer, but she doesn't actually have a lot of hair. It's not that thick at all, and so when we do hairstyles like this, I have to kind of do the minimum amount of sections possible that still works for the hairstyle. So I think I ended up doing about 4 sections in this one. But once again, I'm just repeating those steps using the wooden comb initially, and then going over it with our finer tooth black comb, smoothing it out with our edges cream, and then tying it off with an elastic. So once you're done doing all of your sections, it should look something like this. Like I said, we ended up doing 4, but you can do less or more than that depending on what works for you and your hair. So I started from the bottom and worked my way up when I did the twists. So I'm going to go ahead and clip the top 3 sections out of the way. And all I'm going to do is split all the sections in half and turn it into 2 twists. Or at least for the bottom 2, I did that, and I'll get to the top 2 when I show you myself doing those. So all I did was split that section in half, and I'm gonna start twisting each half of that section. How you do the twist is completely up to you. Some people can just twist the hair all the way down and they don't need to secure it or anything and it'll stay in. Some people, like Alethea, for her hair, I need to braid the bottom and secure it with an elastic for it to work. I have also braided a little bit at the top and then twisted it and then braided it at the bottom, which I didn't do this time, but I've done that before, and it just helps for the twist not to become unraveled. But it definitely depends on your hair and what works and whether or not it's going to stay in the style. If you do not know how to do a 2-strand twist, or you feel like you need a refresher on how to do that, a closer up look essentially, I do have a video on how to do those, and I will link that down below. Okay, so like I said, for the bottom 2 sections, I did 2 twists in each section. But for these top 2 sections, I actually ended up doing 3 twists because this is where the most of her thickness is in her hair, and so I ended up having to do 3 twists in these. But like I said, this hairstyle is super versatile. You can do more twists than I did, you can do less, you can do more sections, less sections. It's totally up to you. I feel like this hairstyle is super cute and versatile and would work for lots of different people with lots of different types and thicknesses and everything of hair. So once you are done with all your twists and your sections, this last step is totally optional. I just like to do it because it definitely adds, I feel like, a more sleeker look to the finished product, as it were. I'm just using more of our Edges cream and smoothing out her baby edges. So once again, apparently I forgot to get a video of the final look, but these pictures show it off just as well. I am absolutely in love with how this hairstyle turned out. I think it's adorable. If you try it and you like it, let me know in the comments down below, and we will talk to you in the next video. Bye!